We're going to create a scarf in Clo and wrap it around our avatar as well as tie it on our avatar. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work with a piece of basic fabric, and I am going to create a rectangle that is 54 inches wide by 6 inches high. Here is our scarf fabric here. I'm going to center this in my 2D window so that I can easily find the middle when I need to. I am then going to use my arrangement points to arrange this to the back of her neck using the furthest out option for placement. While I'm still in arrangement mode here, I'm going to go over to my property editor, and under arrangement I'm going to change my offset from what it is from the default to 100. We'll have a little bit more room. I'm going to select things and begin to simulate. I'm going to turn off my arrangement points, and I am going to go over to my 2D window now. Now I'm going to use the pin box tool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in my 2D window, and I'm going to hover over the edge of my scarf fabric here, the left edge or the right edge to start. And when I move down the edge, you can see that there are these medium blue picking points that come up. I'm going to double click on one of those, and what that does is selects the entire edge with pins. I'm going to scroll over and do the same thing on the other edge. There's my blue picking point, double click, and so now my two edges have pins on them. These pins will freeze that area of the fabric in place so that I can easily manipulate it around the avatar. Then I'm going to go to the zoom in here on the middle of my scarf on my avatar, and I'm going to select a vertical section of the middle of the scarf, which then translates to the back of our scarf. In the 3D window, before I start to actually wrap these around, I'm going to select my scarf fabric here, and I'm going to move it closer, as close as I can to my avatar. I could even go as far as hiding or deleting the hair if I want to, so that I can see my get it closer to the avatar if I want. I think I can just leave it. I'm not going to bother with deleting it now. I'm now going to simulate here. And now our scarf is now beginning to hang naturally. All my frozen pins will only move by themselves, allow you to move everything if you are simulating. If you're not simulating and you try to move the pins, it is going to distort the fabric. They will move, but it will get distorted. So while simulating, I'm going to select these picking points again, and I can pull this down. Pull the two sides away a bit so that this side can go down into this open space and begin to look tied. At this point, if you turn simulation off, turn it back on. Take the left part of this, which is to your left, and it is on her, the wearer's right, and simply drag this down. Okay? Any type of modification or movement of the scarf at this point should be done with care, because you don't want to yank too hard. It will actually pull the two parts of the fabric through each other. The idea here is that this gets brought down to just about where it would go when we want to finish this simulation. So here I have pulled it down, and then I'm also going to rotate it counterclockwise. Whoops, getting caught in my outfit here. So I'm going to make sure that that doesn't. And I can leave that there. And that's about where it's going to go, or I want it to be when I finish the simulation. Now I'm going to take this part of the scarf and pull it up so that it's above her shoulder. And then I'm going to pull it out. And this will pull up the slack and start to wrap this around her neck. We've gotten it far to the, where it needs to go, far to the wearer's left, to our right. Now I'm going to pull this back over her shoulder. Okay. Now at this point, the two ends of the scarf are pretty much where we need it to be. I am going to select this, the back set of pins, and right click and delete selected pin. Okay, I just want to delete this one set of pins. Those will then go away. This will allow us to continue to drape this around her neck, and it will pull up some of the slack. We can also then pull this across, and if you want, you can use your gizmo here to help pull the slack out here as well. I am going to move this in towards her, and as I move it in, I'm also going to pull it back some. This is going to keep the slack tight around her neck. Then I'm going to pull it down, and as this starts to get stretched, I'm going to pull it towards her a little bit. Pause my simulation. It looks pretty good. I am going to use my pin tool and click on the pins here. Now, in this case, we want to get rid of all the pins. So we can right click and say delete all pins, or we can say Command or Control W, and those pins will go away. Let's raise the particle distance on everything. And now let's finally simulate. This will not only get all of our garments back to the quality that we want, but it will also help our scarf, and our scarf will fall into place. So now let's go back to this point and let's tie the scarf. Again, this is right before we started to move the pins to open them up to be able to wrap them around. We're going to proceed in a similar manner. The idea here is that we're going to create a larger opening here, use some more pins so that we can feed this side here, the wearer's left, our left as well, in through the opening in the space, in this space. So what we're going to do first is create a space. So we're going to start by simulating, and we're going to open up this space here using our pins. Now a little bit different here. Again, we want to create an opening, a larger opening, so we're going to pull these out a little bit to begin with. Again, the idea here is that we want to create a more open space in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a couple pins here in the middle of our scarf that are going to allow us to do that. I'm going to stop simulating. I've got my selection tool here, and I'm going to hold down the W key. And I'm going to simply click once, holding down the W key. Clicked separately. I released the W in between so that they are separate pieces. And now when I simulate, I can pull just those pieces out, and that will help open up my space. You could have to at some point take into consideration your particle distance, because if your particle distance is too high, when these two begin to interact with some friction, they'll pull right through each other. So I'm going to go over here now and change the scarf to 5. That will, or I can now see space a little bit better. I could also hide my avatar so that I could use this space a little bit better and I can kind of see where everything is going. If I go back, okay, so we have the two pieces starting the knot. I'm going to delete a couple of these pins. I'm going to delete this pin here, delete selected pin. I have a second one here, delete selected pin. That leaves us with just the two edges. I have another pin here as well that is holding this scarf up here. I'm going to delete that one as well. At this point, I am going to delete the pins on the back of the neck, and that will allow us to pull the slack around the avatar. I'm also going to bring back my garments here so that we can see how this is going to be functioning with our scarf. To aid in finishing the scarf off, I'm actually going to select and freeze my top here. As you can see, my animation now, and I'm going to use the pin box tool here, and I'm going to use the pin box tool to select a central area of this scarf. This will, I now delete on the ends. Sides of my scarf will fall. The knot will stay tied. So now I'm going to use my pin box tool again to finally delete this pin and all the pins essentially that are left, I'm going now I'm going to use the fabric that is on my cap, which is this heavy cotton twill, and I'm going to apply it to my scarf. So now the scarf matches the hat. I'm going to simulate. Now she has her hat and her scarf. She's got her favorite boyfriend jeans on, and she's ready to go out.